Hi everyone, Sarah from Sarah Homfray Embroidery. Today I'm going to show you 5 stitches for embroidering fish. I'm actually going to do this in 2 videos, so one is going to be the fish scales and then I'm going to do a separate one to do the outlines, so you can watch both of those if you want to stitch these fish. I'll put that one up at the end of this video. I've also got a free PDF with the little fish on. If you want to download these shapes and have a go at these yourself, you can just click on the link in the description below this video and that will take you straight to this free PDF. So I'm using a white cotton fabric to embroider on. It's got a cotton backing behind it as well, and I've just traced my design onto the fabric. I'm going to use stranded cotton throughout, and I'm going to use 3 strands of that in my needle, and I'm going to use a mix of variegated cotton and plain cotton. And you will notice as well that I've got my fish turned the other way up, so most embroidery stitches are actually easy if you work away and work towards yourself. So I'm going to turn the frame around and do that. So if you are struggling with a stitch, do try and just turn your embroidery around and see if that helps you. So the first stitch I'm going to do is a detached chain stitch. And I'm going to start up at the top of the shape here. All of these stitches that I'm going to do are open stitches, so you'll be able to see the fabric behind the stitches, so they will need an outline stitch as well, which is why I'm going to do the 5 outline stitches in a separate video. So I'm just going to start my thread on the top, not too small stitches, that'll get cut off. That's a nice neat way to start, and these will be covered by my outline stitch. And then I'm just going to do individual stitches, so we come up and down in the same hole, make a little loop, we come up inside the loop and we make an individual detached chain. Just pull on it gently, not too tight so the circle doesn't close up, and we're just going to do loads of those next to each other. I'm going to do them a bit closer at the top, a bit further apart as they go down. Not too tight, make sure that looks like a chain so it looks circular, and just making kind of individual fish scales. So I'm just going to go all the way along the top with these. Gone right down the shape, and I've just spaced them out a little bit as they get nearer to the tail, and you can see the lovely colour variation because I'm using that variegated thread and it just makes each one a different colour, so that comes out really nice. So just over this stitch there to hold it in place, and then I'm just going to finish off by doing my 2 little stitches on that edge. That's going to get covered, remember, in that outline stitch. So 2 little stitches, bring it back to the top, cut it off, and that will secure the end of the thread. And I can cut my little starting knot off as well, so that's all nice and neat and tidy. And then this stitch will need an outline stitch around it. This one is a whipped back stitch, so don't forget to check that video out to see how to do that one. So the next stitch that I'm going to do is a fly stitch, and I will finish all of these fish off with their outlines, and I will rotate them the right way round as well so you can see what they all look like when they're finished at the end. But this is another one that's good to work this way up, so I have just turned my little fish around again. I'm going to come just inside the edge here. I'm going to come up and down and then leaving that little loop again, just like we did for the chain stitch, but now the top stitches are a distance apart. I come up inside that loop, tension it towards me so it makes a V shape, looks like a little fly, and I'm going to put that stitch over the top again to finish that off. So like the chain stitch but open at the top, but this makes really great scales if you do them right next to each other. So I'm going to come up next to that one, work along the top there, leave a little space, make a little V shape, come up inside the loop, tension it towards me so it makes the V, and just hold the stitch down with that little stitch there. So individual stitches again put together so that make this scale effect. And again I'm using this variegated thread in orange. I'm just going to work along the top and then come back along and work my next row underneath. So to put my row underneath, I'm coming up in the point of the previous row, down in the point, the next one along. Leave that little loop, come up inside and carry on, so each one is connected to the row above, but they're all individual stitches. So I think I'll get another 2 in there. You can make them larger or smaller, that's completely up to you. So 1 more in this corner here, down in the point of the one above, back up inside the loop, tension towards me, make the V shape, take my little stitch over the bottom. So for this fish I'm going to do a trellis stitch. Now I can do this the right way up, so my fish is the right way up, but it's in my frame this way already, so I can do it this way as well, it doesn't matter. And we've got loads of different trellis stitch videos on the website, so do go and check those ones out if you want some different patterns. But I'm going to do a really simple one, and I'm just going to do these big long stitches from one side to the other. I'm starting in the middle so it sets the angle, and I'm going to come up on the same side, and you can actually place your thread in place, and then you can bring your needle through. So I'm bringing my needle up, I just lie it down, happy with that. Try and keep this spacing nice and even. I'm just going to fill in that whole shape with these lines. So my last stitch is up here, I'm going to start my next one down here, so I'm just doing a couple of tiny little stitches up and down just to carry my thread down to the new area so I don't have big long stitches on the back. Then I'm going to do exactly the same here. You see how I'm just laying my needle down, just helps me get the right distance apart. You don't need to measure it, don't get the ruler out, just do it by eye. But if you just put your needle up, lie it down as accurately as you can. And we're not going to get another one in there because remember my outline stitch is going around the edge, so I'm going to stop there. But now I'm going to go the other way with my stitches. I'm going to come back up here, and instead of making a square, if I do that all the way across now, I'll get squares. I'm going to do a diamond, so I'm going to angle it a little bit more, and I'm going to go all the way to the other side like that. All these stitches will get held down, don't worry if you think they're huge long stitches, they're going to get held down. So then I'm going to go back that way, and hopefully you can see my little diamonds. So I've put my two grids down, one on top of the other, as accurately can't even say it, accurately as I can in a nice diamond pattern, but these stitches are quite long, they need holding down. So I'm going to put a little stitch over each one, and I'm actually going to use this dark purple that I've done my outline in now, so you can see where those stitches are going. You can do the same colour as your grid if you want, or you can change the colour. It's quite nice in a different colour. So here's the dark purple, and I'm just going to go up in the corner of my diamond shape vertically as my fish is, horizontally if you've got your fish the other way. Well, you can go the other way if you want to, you can go across that way, or you can do a little cross as well. There's lots of variations of this stitch, it's really beautiful, but I'm just going to do this one stitch this way. It's kind of going along his body shape and going over every point where the grid overlaps the grid below it, so where these are, so that they don't move. Little stitch over the top to hold it in place. I'm going to anchor it at every point, so I'm going to go all the way over that, and we'll have a little look at him when I've finished. So try and do this as precisely as you can so that you don't move the grid underneath, and you can go right to the edge. There's just a little bit where it crosses there, but I'm just going to put a little stitch in that. You can go right up to the edge, and I'll get one more in the bottom as well. You really want that grid held down nice and securely. So last one. Don't forget our outline is going around the edge, so that'll tidy the edge up, but that's the trellis stitch finished. So this one we're going to do a feather stitch. So again, I have turned him this way so I can work towards me, much easier for this one. And you'll notice after a while that some stitches start to look very similar to each other. So this is one of those. So it's going to start the same way as the fly stitch did. So I'm just starting right at the top here on this line, and I'm going to come up and down, leave that little gap. I'm going to come up inside that gap, just as I did for the fly stitch, pulling it towards me, and I get that little V shape. But what I'm going to do now is attach the next stitch to it. I'm going to do this feather stitch, and I'm going to go in a diagonal right across his body. So I'm going to come across horizontally, that same distance there, here. And I'm going to do the same stitch again. So up inside that loop, make the little V, tension it towards me, come across here, go down, make the little loop up inside the loop, and you'll see it's going diagonally across my fish shape. So each one is joined to the next one. Now we're not doing individual stitches, they're all joined to the previous stitch. And in feather stitch you'd normally go back and forth from side to side, but I found this was a really good way of doing his scales, to go across in a diagonal, and then we'll come across at the top and add some in at the top. So I'm just going to go right to the other side with that. And then when I get to the side, I'm just going to finish that line of stitching off by just going over that end stitch, just like we did for the fly stitch, and securing in place. Now I need to go back to the top, so I'm just going to step my thread around the side, little stitches, better than a big long stitch on the back. So just a couple of stitches around there, that'll get covered by that outline stitch. and then I can come back up to the top here. So I'm going to join this one to the previous one, so I'm going to come up at the end of that one at the top there, and I'm going to repeat another row. So across to the right, come up inside the loop, which is now the top of that previous one there. You'll see this pattern start to come as I do a couple of stitches across horizontally, go down, up inside the loop, which is the top of that stitch that's on the row below. You can see them how they all join together now. It's a little bit more complicated, this one, but if you stick to your rows you should find they come absolutely fine. If you're left-handed you might just want to go from right to left and go with your diagonals the other way, but otherwise it's exactly the same stitch. Up inside there, and then I'm just going to take my needle down there. I can't squash another stitch in, but I just want to continue the pattern, so I'm just going to take my needle down on the edge, and then again I step it up the side. My little stitches, just walk the thread up on the back so you don't have these long stitches on the back, and then start again with my next row coming up at the end of that previous row. So I'm just coming down the other side, so I've come up there and done that stitch, so I'm going to just come inside that one there to join my next row on. So that's level with that row, that's level with that row. Pull down, go down in that V shape of that previous row. And then just to finish it off, I'm going to come down into the border there, just so that they continue with that row, and then those again get covered by my outline stitch. So I'm going to switch it up a little bit now for this one and do something a little bit more complicated. We have got lots of videos on this subject, so we're going to do some needle lace. So if you're interested in this stitch and how to do it in more detail and some different patterns as well, do go and check those videos out. But we're just going to do a very simple one for this, and we need a base of some running stitch along the top. So again, I've turned my little fish around because this is easier to work this way. So I'm just going to do a fairly big running stitch because I need something to start my stitch off in. Just going to go along the shape like that. Now he's got a different shape at the end, so we're going to actually start at this point here. Just going to put one stitch down that side as well. So each row is connected to the previous row. So the first row is going to look a little bit strange, so it will become clear when we get going. So I'm just going to loop underneath and sliding my needle underneath there. I'm going to make a loop, and I don't want to pull that too tight, because if I just tension it like that, can you see that loop? Then I'm going to go down at the end, and then I'm going to come up underneath about the same distance away. And then I make a loop with my thread, my needle comes under that loop I've just made. We make another loop. And then I make another loop there with my thread, and I go under the next one. Don't worry too much about if it's the next stitch, you need to just judge where it looks like it fits. So if I just pull that up, you can see what's happening now. It's starting to make these lovely little fish scales. So I'm going to take my needle down there. Going to come up about, actually I think I'll come up the same side. I'm going to go across here just until I get into the flow of it, then I can actually go back and forth. So you can see that gap, a same gap down the side, underneath that one, inside that loop. Make a loop with my thread, going underneath that one side. Now I can join this top row here, I can come underneath that one. So you'll have to adjust a little bit depending on what shape you're doing, but just think, I need to do rows, start in the top, that's the important, start up here. If I start down here I can't really go back and fill it in, so start down here, and then I'm actually going to go all the way along there. Not pulling these too tight. If you pull them too tight your little scales will disappear. Now we can do straight rows, so now I can go down at the end. So you need to go through to the back of the fabric either side of the shape. Move my needle down, and then I'm going to loop this way now. So we're going to go back and forth underneath that previous loop. Oh, caught it around the eye. Not too tight. underneath the next loops. This one is a little bit more complicated, so again, do check out those videos on needle lace for the principles of it, just to see how it's done. But you can see how great these little fish scales become. Let's go right under that one as well. And I can just go back and forth now, down at the end, back up here, a little bit underneath. As you can see, each row pulls the next row down. So now I'm going to go through that one. Now I'm going to go through that one. Make sure you come inside this loop here, inside this one, and that one will pull the previous row with it. So I'm going to do a little bit more, and then you should be able to see the pattern come out. Right near the bottom of the shape now, you just keep going with the process, so through each loop, and then we'll just need to attach it to the bottom. So when I get to the bottom like that, I'm just going to go over the end. I'm just going to come up right on the bottom of my shape here. We're just going to pull those last two loops down, so we're going to go underneath that and just finish that stitch off. So doing individual stitches to pull those down. Do make sure you do this bit as you kind of left a little bit unfinished. So underneath that next loop, pull the shape down. You can see it open that beautiful shape up, and just through to the back to finish off my thread. This one is a little bit harder. I've done them in the order I think is easiest to hardest, so if you're not so experienced, start at the beginning and work your way up to this one. I'm just going to show you how to put an eye on, one way to put an eye on. So I've just used a sequin and a bead, and I've just got a double sewn thread. So I've just got a normal sewn thread now in a finer needle. That needs to be able to go through the hole in the bead, so do just double check that. And I'm just going to do my two little stitches to start it right in the middle of the eye to start that thread off. And then I come up in the middle, I thread on my sequin, thread on my bead. Again, we've got videos on how to put down beads and sequins if you want to know more about that. Come up through the middle of both, and then I just go back down through the sequin, miss out the bead, and the bead will hold that sequin in place, and that gives them a really cute little eye. And I'll just finish that thread on the back, and I can cut that knot off to finish that. So here's what the finished fish scales look like when they're done, and they've all got their little outlines around them as well to complete them, and a little bead and sequin eye as well. And if you want to know how to do the outlines to finish off your fish, you can check out this video up here. All the details of those stitches are in there. And if you've enjoyed this video, do give it a thumbs up as always, and I'll see you next time.